one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. You were calling me a liar, 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 liar. I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the putting in.
Those medical pills all push me over. I kill my fill 3 times a day. These ethanol fumes won't make me sober. One flame to take the pain away. I caught you lighting matches in the back room. Haters look mad when they pass you. Let's talk about around when it's past due. Reach a glass, dude, no. You don't gotta fight alone.
And welcome back, everyone, to Titans of Tier 3 League Week 2. Today we have Event Horizon versus Team Virtuosity. Just one match today, but it's going to be an exciting one. I am PB Joel here with Ronak, and Ronak, I'm looking forward to this one. We got a little bit of the same Event Horizon bias from the last time we casted together, but it's going to be a good match nonetheless.
Absolutely. I don't know if this is on purpose that I keep ending up in the Event Horizon matches, but I am absolutely here for it. I am super excited about this match. A little bit of history between these two teams. Just a month ago, they went up against each other in a tournament, and then a few days before that, they had a best of one again, and it is currently 1-1. Both teams have won one map on the other, and so this might be this is their first best of three against each other, and this is going to be a really, really intense match.
Absolutely. Both teams had a different experience in Week 1. Event Horizon has their first win of the season so far, and Virtuosity is looking to pick that up for themselves. So, a little bit of an existing rivalry here. Maybe we'll see an exciting match.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure hoping so. We've got a really interesting map pick here. Bind, Lotus, and... Yeah, absolutely. I want to see the Yoru. I don't think that I've casted a Yoru on Bind yet, but you see a lot of pro teams running it now. It seems like it's getting a little bit. It's like the spicy meta pick. It's not quite meta, but it's not quite not meta. So I'm hoping that we see a Yoru on this map.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for some mind games with Yoru, especially. He's a very tricky agent to play against and play as, so you have a lot of potential, especially now that you have multiple ways to teleport on both sides. So here we go. I guess we're about to see what these teams decide to go with. We are seeing that instant lock from Jar on Event Horizon side with that Sky pick, and a little bit of a hover from Team Virtuosity as well.
Absolutely, yeah, very classic. The Sky there. I think if you're running solo initiator, which I think is pretty standard on Bind, you're almost guaranteed to go with the Sky, even with the slight nerfs that have come up. She still just gives so much info and flashes, and that heal with a little bit of extra utility. Just very hard to counter.
Absolutely. And we see Xander coming in with that Cypher pick and another Raze pick from Bullets. Stalker hovering on Team Virtuosity's side. Looks like we're going to see that Raze mirror. And Team Virtuosity just slowly locking in one by one here. No, nothing hovered yet from Riversand, but that Cypher play is going to be interesting. Cypher has a lot of potential on a bind for some very tricky plays that I've seen just kind of in general in the past. So should be very interesting.
I'm also very interested in this. Oh, I was interested the KO hover on the other side, but it looks like he might switch over to a Cypher. I would say that this is pretty close to the standard meta. You got the double controller with Cypher, which makes it a very defense-heavy map, but maybe a Chamber coming from
Chamber.
I love Chamber on this map. I would be here for it.
Chamber is definitely not as much of a strong agent as he used to be with the nerfs that happened a while ago, but there still has a lot of potential. I think he can get some stuff done. Oh, last second switch over to KO. So almost a mirror comp with a little bit of a no Sentinel on the side of Team Virtuosity. They're going to run that double initiator. But we do have double controller on both sides, at Viper and Brimstone. So there's going to be a lot of stall potential on both teams' sides here.
Absolutely.
A lot of interesting to just hunker down in those spots and play for intel and play for those Viper mollies, and going to be able to really do some time spent on defense for both teams. Depending, it doesn't even matter what side they're going to be on.
Absolutely, I am interested in this KO double initiator. A little bit more of a balanced comp than Event Horizon has, and I wonder if Event Horizon, how they'll be able to adapt to this KO, because at least in my experience, I don't see KO played very often on this map. And his ability to shut down that Cypher, both with the ult and if you get tagged by that knife, can make sight take so much easier. So I think Team Virtuosity has a little bit of a more balanced offensive-defensive mix, and I'm really interested to see if Event Horizon is going to be able to counter that.
You're absolutely right. It's going to be a lot harder to stall with Viper utility if you have that KO knife threatening that it's going to take away, going to suppress those abilities at any point. So maybe we'll see some dramatic takes of sight here with those flashes and util. They have double flashes on the side of Team Virtuosity, so they're going to be able to take a lot of space very quickly here, especially with Raze on their side. A lot of movement, a lot of flashes, able to block out that sight, and like we're about to start getting into it here.
So,
Horizon
might
on
have a
defending
tech pause.
first.
Might have a tech pause already. Sounds like a player has crashed. Yeah, and I also do think that KO is such an interesting agent as well because he's really an anti-meta agent. Like as characters become stronger, KO also becomes stronger by definition of how KO works. So, like with all of these changes to Sentinels now, in a way it feels like an indirect KO buff because KO is able to beat Sentinels so effectively that it makes for a very weird dynamic with KO in the meta. It always feels like that he is dependent on how strong other characters are if you're going to run him. So I think that this actually we might see a resurgence of KO with these changes that have been going on, like the buffs to Deadlock and the changes to KJ and things like that.
Definitely. You're absolutely right. The stronger the abilities on the other team are, the stronger that KO's shutdown potential is going to be. And I think especially here with Cypher, just that ability to lock down sight is going to be hindered a lot by these KO knives. That suppression is going to come in key for T-Bite to really make sure that Xander can't do anything on the side of Event Horizon. And got to make it easier for them to take space, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you got to make sure you land those knives, and if you are the KO, you want to be careful about where you're playing because I mean everyone can see when you have your ultimate. So if you're the Cypher, a lot of the times you might set up, say on B, but then play on A, so that if they try and KO out B, your setup is still there and someone else can play off of it. So there are ways around it, but I mean it's all about how well you're able to, predict where they're going to go and where the knives are going to land.
Here we go. Looks like that tech pause is finally clearing up here. But these teams are itching to get into the match, and I wonder what we're going to see. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting to see those double flashes because it looks like they have an initiator on both sides of the map here, really playing those extremities to be able to take as much space as they can, maybe play for that rotate as whenever possible.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a full default coming out here from the attack. Very interesting strategy.
Nothing happening right away, but we do see the two Event Horizon players are placed up pretty aggressively and take that teleporter immediately. So 3 Event Horizon players stacking down through showers, trying to take as much space as possible as Team Virtuosity makes their way up B long, gets onto that site, doesn't quite see that Cypher trip quite yet, but the dog catches it and Stalker's able to drop it just in time. There's 2 players pushing the fight here. Riversun finds Lethal on the other side of the map, though. And now that rotate's cut off. Tootsie cuts off the rotate from T-Bite, and now just... They have Hookah taken over a little bit here. They're going to be able to play for something here. Now comes that Sky Flash. Doesn't find anyone right away. Cooper runs away from Tootsie quickly. As there's making a rotation over for Event Horizon, trying to find that way into CC. Fanta gets caught out outside of the smoke, and Riversand picks that frag up. Bullets gets one onto Cooper, and Riversand finds a third onto Stalker to end out that pistol round pretty quickly here. They're going to get that defuse off, no problem.
Wow, a flawless round to start off the pistol for Event Horizon. That full default is just, it's unlucky, very easily picked apart by the calculated aggression that we see coming out of Event Horizon. I'm interested if are they going to play this just so aggressively, because that was incredibly aggressive for a pistol round, just swinging through the Viper wall short and pushing both shorts and taking all the space, cutting off the rotate so quickly. Just really difficult for a default to stay alive. When you're getting picked off all around the map like that.
This is a nice spot.
You're absolutely right. And Xander and Tootsie had pushed into Hookah so fast there that they were able to cut off the rotate from T-Bite coming into B short. And they were really blocking off that rotate ability from Team Virtuosity that they weren't able to get anything done there. They just got collapsed on a little bit. As we see, here comes Stalker into showers with Lance, with a shotgun, tries to get out Bullets, but Bullets finds 2. Bullets is picking apart the offense here, just from Lance with the judge. And that's all that Bullets needs to get the job done. Team Virtuosity has to rotate off a little bit, find some more space on the other side of the map as Tootsie picks off Lethal on the site, and they're really shut down on offense here. It's just 2 players left for Virtuosity into 5 for Event Horizon, and Event Horizon has 4 players stacked up onto A site. They still have 1 person waiting on the other side of the map, but that rotate's not coming in quite yet. Santa looking to find maybe a pick here onto Tootsie. Pushing into sight, out comes Sky Flash, and Santa does find a pick onto Tootsie, but Jar grabs that trade, and Bullets finishing off that 3K. Another almost another flawless for Event Horizon.
Absolutely, almost a flawless. There's 1 death so far across all of Event Horizon. This was just, I mean, a raise and a judge. I don't know of a more perfect combination. Full blind in lamps and still just sits there and gets 2. Really just, it's just hard to beat that on an eco. Ecos on this map can be really tough if you push into those shotguns. This really is shotgun central, and I think that it's going to play a very major role.
Absolutely. There's a lot of very close corners that you can be able to play around on this map, and I think Team Virtuosity fell victim to that a little bit on the eco round here. Once again, Spike not quite committed anymore, looking to maybe get a rotate off if they can afford it. Not playing too fast up here. Stalker trying to maybe poke into Hookah here. Not going to find anything, as T-Bite's going to commit that Spike towards A site a little bit. Still playing pretty passive here for Team Virtuosity. They have those smokes that they can play behind from Brimstone, so they're not going to be forced to commit anywhere quite yet. But here comes Event Horizon, down B long. Not going to find anyone right away because there's no one peeking out there. But they're playing nice and careful, looking to grab something. They might have a little bit of a timing here. Oh, just barely missed that timing from Stalker. Here comes a little bit of a push onto A. Skyflash doesn't find anything, but out comes the Brim Smoke, close. A little bit of a deeper smoke into sight for Brimstone. In comes the raised nade. Pain Shells find Bullets. Stalker gets that headshot quickly, turning into a 4v5 for Team Virtuosity. A little bit of advantage here. Santa gives 2 though. Jar grabs the trade, but the damage is done. It's a 2v4 now for Event Horizon. Tootsie finds a pick onto Virtuosity, but there's still 1 more player on the attacking side here for them to deal with. Now comes the Sky Flash here. Jar not able to find anything. T-Bite grabs 1. Tootsie grabs a pick on the other side of the site. But there's still 2 players for Team Virtuosity, and that bomb is down. The time's gonna be ticking. He's gonna have to find his way through a few mollies. Not gonna be able to stick that spike on quite in time. That knife finds him, and Lethal crouches into the smoke, grabs that final pick to round out the round.
Great round here by both teams, I think. The rotate for Team Virtuosity was super good. It was so close. The timing on the raise is just crazy for both teams. If Event Horizon catches them before they execute, that round might be done before they even get the spike down. But they're able to get it down this time, and they have to be really careful about it. They're aware, obviously, of that they don't have a sentinel. They have no flank watch, and so is Event Horizon. Event Horizon is already trying to abuse it, so Virtuosity needs to be super aware, just like their Brim was in short, and able to pick up those quick flanks before they get too much damage.
Yeah, Event Horizon looking to play pretty aggressive here. You see how far they're pushed up so far on the extremities and pretty much everywhere on the site. Bullets playing around that ult orb, trying to find a pick onto Lethal, and is going to find it. So a little bit of space lost there. That rotation is going to be blocked off a little bit for Team Virtuosity as they're going to try to make some space and be long. Not going to find anything quite right away. Xander grabs the dog before it's able to do any real damage. And all 4 players on Team Virtuosity side are going to be grouped up into long here. They're going to be forced off to rotate a little bit once again. And Event Horizon is all the better for it. They're not super committed to either site right now. They still have 2 players on the side of A, and they're just going to be trying to wait for that rotate to come to them if that does happen. But T-Bite poking and prodding does have that spike, so it's going to have to be a little bit careful. Doesn't want to betray any intel too early. Here comes another Skydog poking for intel. Finds Stalker, doesn't see T-Bite, but Stalker has to drop the dog. Paint Shells.
30 seconds left.
Maybe, not quite. Down comes some Brim Smokes and back sight. We see that pretty aggressive placing here from Event Horizon. Gets punished for it. Santa finds Riverside, but 3 players get dropped very quickly from Event Horizon. Make that 4. It's just Santa alone with 45 HP and Hookah. But that spike is down. They're gonna have to play for it. Santa Doesn't quite see. Jar quite backside, grabs the headshot. 3 players killed for bullets. It's 1v1 situation.
The time.
Gonna drop back for and Event Horizon Team Virtuosity, excuse me, runs out of time. Not able to get that bomb down quite in time. Santa almost pulling out a stellar performance there.
I think that was, yeah, wow, a great sight hold. I think that's a little unfortunate for Team Virtuosity. They weren't able to get out onto site. I know it's tough. You know that there's at least 3 people there, but you also know you can't really take the TP because you just lost your Viper on that side of the map, and you just don't have like any knowledge of if there's anyone over there. So I think you almost just have to try and force out, and instead they sort of stalled around the mains for too long and ended up running out of time as a result.
They didn't want to quite play into the aggressive Event Horizon rotation that might have been coming on this side of the map. But speaking of aggression, Tootsie, with the judge, might be able to catch someone out here. Playing really close behind that box. But Virtuosity is careful. Just poking around that corner. Out comes a bit of Viper smoke, and they walk right by. So close. That Viper ward comes down, and down comes the lamp. Tootsie able to grab Lethal from far away, and Jar finds C-Bite from the other side of the site, and both players on Team Virtuosity's side are down on A. And now, once again, it's just a 3v5 for Team Virtuosity. Doesn't find anything backside, so they know that at least site might be safe. They're going to have to push onto site here and get that spike down before anyone on Event Horizon's team is any the wiser. Here comes that plant. Here comes some TPs from Event Horizon's side, grouping up into Hookah. They do have that Cypher trip, so they know that no one was there, but they know that it could be being watched. Try to make a little bit of a pincher movement here. Paint shells come into Hookah, don't find anyone. It's a no ticks of damage quite yet. That Viper Molly comes into sight, doesn't grab anyone either. Yuto's not finding anything. Out comes Sky, gets opened up. Brimstone ult comes out, doesn't find any damage, and Santa doesn't find anything either. Cooper gets a peck on the bullets, but Riversand grabs that trade and finishes up the round. Almost another flawless here. But Jar's a little worse for the wear. But that spike is going to get diffused.
Absolutely. Event Horizon playing the anti-ecos extremely well. They know that Viper lurk can come through with the orb and the wall. It's a pretty common idea, especially on eco. And just once again, the judges being so impactful on this bind map with so many close corners and raises flying through the air and whatnot. We might be seeing a sky trip. Oh, that was going to be funny. But just, yeah, playing it really well with the judges and playing around the ecos extremely well right now for Event Horizon.
This goes here.
We're seeing a little bit of an example of why Cypher can be so tricky on this map. He has a lot of little corners to place tripwires in, and it's going to be a little bit hard to get passes if you don't know that they're there. They're definitely, and especially because Cypher's not a super common pick on this map. You don't see him all the time, but you do see him sometimes. They hear that camera in the corner. Stalker does.
My camera is
Are going to find it. They know that there's one player there in showers. Out comes the dog, finds a couple. Out comes Bullets with the showstopper and finds 2. KO Molly grabs that trade, but the damage has been done. Team Virtuosity in a 3v4 here. Gonna have to back up, play around that space. Gonna have to respect the 2 players in showers for Event Horizon. Maybe have to go for a rotate here, but that Brimstone is gonna make it a little bit difficult to make any forward progress. Team Virtuosity looking to grab anything that they can do here. Playing a little bit slow, maybe have to play for those trades. They have an ult. They have a null command here to work with, but now might not be the best time to use it because they do still have to push through all that Viper and Cypher util on site. Excuse me. So they might be just waiting for that rotate, waiting for a pincher maneuver, but it doesn't look like it's going to be coming anywhere. Event Horizon has time to spread out onto both sides, put 2 players on each. The time starts ticking down, just less than 30 seconds here for Team Virtuosity to get the bomb down, but they do find someone. Riversend sees a little corner, a little pixel out of place, not able to do anything about it. So here comes Team Virtuosity. Brimsmoke's come down, out comes the flash into the lamps.
10 seconds left.
Here comes that knife stick onto a couple of people, and down comes that Viper Molly, and Team Virtuosity's gonna hop through that teleporter on this side. They might be playing a little bit of a game here, waiting for someone to pop through. Got a little trade there, but the time is done. And they're not going to be able to get that bomb down, and they're not going to find any picks either. Event Horizon's not playing their games with the teleporter.
No, I was honestly surprised with how aggressive Event Horizon has been, that they might not just jump through that teleporter and see if they can take the guns away. But really their aggression has been so calculated. I mean, they get all of the info with the Sky Flash, be long, and then just the dog and insta ult through. It's not like they're doing crazy aggression without any plan behind it. Their aggression is very calculated and very, like, I wouldn't say safe, but just like working as a team and pushing together, and it is just working so well for them right now.
Team Virtuosity has not yet been able to take advantage of the fact that they have 2 initiators up. They do find something with the suppression there. They are going to find both sides to be with some of that util. Out comes the null command as Team Virtuosity tries to push into Hookah, make some space there. That Cypher util is going to be rendered pretty much useless. Tootsie tries to jump to the teleporter, find T-Bite, and Bullets does the same. T-Bite grabs a chip on a Tootsie, and Xander finds one in Hookah as well. But Cooper grabs a trade onto Xander. It's a 3v3 here for Team Virtuosity, but T-Bite is down, gonna have to get rezzed at some point if they want to make it an even fight. But Bolus is gonna make sure that doesn't happen. Finds T-Bite in the back of Hookah as Bomb is still not down. Out comes that Viper Pit into CT, maybe a little bit of it pokes out into back of sight a little bit. Doesn't cover all of sight, so Team Virtuosity gonna be able to play around it a little bit. Maybe get that bomb down at some point, but the threat is just too heavy. With that Viper's Pit up, they don't know if they can safely plant quite yet. They don't know where Event Horizon is going to be sitting. And Riversand, speaking of which, finds some spam through the Viper's Pit onto Santa. And Jar picks up that final frag, not able to get the bomb down. Team Virtuosity, kind of unlucky there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, just this aggressive play by Event Horizon. 2 people coming to the TP. They get caught out on the first one. He's a little bit early, and Tootsie gets down, or they gets killed by the KO. But then I didn't even see who came through behind him. I think it was Bullets came through right behind him and was able to trade the kill. And just a super tough one. Also, it's tough for Lethal. Sometimes it can be, or sorry, for Riversand, sometimes it can be rough on that Viper when you're up by so many rounds. You're like, okay, when is my ult going to be useful? So you just commit it there to secure the round, and I think that's a good idea.
Found a good opportunity to use the Viper's Pit there. Santa finds a pick on the Tootsie with the Sheriff on the short, but Xander comes out to get an equal frag on the other side of the site. Popping out of the teleporter there. Doesn't have any other Team Virtuosity players to contend with because they're going to go through the teleporter on the other side of the map. Taking that short teleporter. Does jump through the Cypher trip. Giving Event Horizon a little bit of intel here, and here comes that fast rotation. The Showstopper comes out. Stalker looking for something, stalking through the back of sight to try to see some sort of hint of a pixel that's out of place. Not going to find anything with the Showstopper, has to release it. Does some damage to himself though. Riversand might have some space to work with here. Finds a pick on the Cooper. A little quick one tap there. Xander finds a pick on the Santa on the other side. Now it's just a 2v1 on the side of Event Horizon. Riversand has 68 HP to work with here and has to play against those KO flashes, but Stalker has some HP missing as well. He's going to send out that Boombot. It's not going to see him quite right away, but it is going to find him eventually. 2 angles to work with here for Riversand. Has to deal with 2 players at once peeking from different angles. Trying to play for something here. Riversand doesn't quite know where Stalker is. Gonna be forced to go for the spike and not able to grab it. T-Bite grabs that final headshot.
A great thrifty round by Team Virtuosity. I think that was just, I mean, that was some great Sheriff play. Getting those early picks was super good. The Event Horizon just using these TPs as traps has been just incredible, but Team Virtuosity respond this time with some fantastic Sheriff picks. They isolate some fights, they isolate Jar down B long, and they're able to get some free guns and turn the round into a win. I think that was really, really well done.
I have a little bit of a turning point here for Team Virtuosity because they definitely needed that econ-wise. Didn't have a lot of money to work with last round. You saw that they were just down to a few $100s per person after buying those rifles, but now they're going to have a little bit more free space to work with here. Going to be able to play a little bit more aggressively and risk those guns just a little bit more. Try to take some away from Event Horizon, but looks like this push might fall into a little bit of a Cypher trip. As that Viper wall comes down, takes out one, so Xander knows there's something there. Stalker finds Riversand, taking away the other team's Viper, and Team Virtuosity's Viper finds the Raze, so an even trade there. Xander finds Lethal, and T-Bite grabs a trade onto that side, and A is clear for Event Horizon. Clear of Event Horizon, excuse me, and Team Virtuosity is going to play for that. Going to play into that site, check out the Cypher util that's on there. Here comes Event Horizon into the TP, but they're gonna have a lot of bodies to play against here. Santa not able to get 2T, but Jar finds Cooper, has to deal with that Boombot, able to take it down just in time, but it's a 3v1 here for Jar. playing into these Brimsmokes, playing into all that KO
Spike
util.
planted.
Gonna have to get a little bit creative here. Maybe even save a rifle, play for something here, play for a pick or two. Just hoping for anything that Jar can grasp onto, any sort of a piece of Team Virtuosity as the bomb is ticking down. Not able to find that trade. Stalker, close right. Quick body shot. Take out Jar to end the round.
Yeah, I think that's an example for Event Horizon of uncalculated aggression. Just a couple really aggressive swings without a lot of util backing them up. And after that Thrifty, Team Virtuosity has got they've got their mental back and they are rolling. Great shots out of them that round, and also really great decision making. They knew that they got all of the players off of A. Just hit that TP quick and take the site.
Absolutely, we're seeing another default play here. Team Virtuosity have been loving these defaults. They have the opportunity to take a little bit of space, but Bullet's looking to take some space here on his own. Doesn't see anything right away through those Brimsmokes, but is going to be able to find some sort of intel here. He's going to see that spike and see Santa right next to it. Now, Event Horizon knows that the spike is down, not committed anywhere. Right, we have Bullets tries to find Lethal, not able to grab that pick, but Lethal, a little bit worse for wear, is going to get healed up a little bit here. Now, Event Horizon knows that there's something committed on towards A site most likely. And they're going to be playing aggressive here, looking for another pick, but not able to see anything quite yet. Stalker's going to run away just in the nick of time. As a Team Virtuosity, here comes Team Virtuosity on the site. Here comes that Viper Spit out right on top of U-Haul, taking over that spike. And Event Horizon is the 3v4 for Event Horizon. Going to have to fight into that Viper's Pit and fight for the spike. But Riverside finds T-Bite on the side to make it into the 3v3 here. It will be easier for Event Horizon to find some space here. Stalker, oh boy. Oh no. Stalker finds two in that lurk through showers, and Riverside does his trade, but the damage is done. 2v1 here for Event Horizon's Viper. Does find a pick onto Cooper, but still has to fight against Lethal. Fight into that Viper. That spike is ticking down a little bit here. Goal comes down, but it's all the time in the world to take that peek. Grab that headshot. Very back and forth round there, I think, especially for Team Virtuosity.
Absolutely, almost an incredible clutch from Riversand, but just, I mean, it's such a hard situation to win a 1v1 against a Viper who's got their ult up. I think this is a very smart timeout by Event Horizon. You were up, what was it, I believe 6-1, and now you've lost 3 in a row. I don't think you want to let the momentum get away from you here. The round started off so good, just Bullets walking up short, completely unchecked, gets the kill on the brim, but doesn't really have an exit strategy and ends up getting caught out, and then Tootsie also getting traded away right after that. I think Event Horizon is they're in the spot where we mentioned this earlier, actually, before the round started, that Virtuosity has struggled in the past when down a player when they don't get that first blood. But that was a situation where, or it's feeling like a situation where Event Horizon is needing those first bloods to be able to make these retakes effective. They're winning a lot of these early group engagements, and then being able to back off and just play on sites and win it after that. So I think that right now Event Horizon is really relying on winning early engagements, and maybe they should either try and set up a situation where they don't have to do that, or continue to make plans that allow them to win early engagements.
Absolutely, I think they're trying to play pretty aggressively here, really take advantage of the fact that Team Virtuosity doesn't have a sentinel to work with, doesn't have a way to block out those angles, that they don't have someone watching. Oh, almost a pick on Riverside from Santa there, but not able to find the headshot quite yet. So T-Bites gets a suppression out, finds Bullets in the just outside the angle, and Stalker finds Sissy as well. 2 picks for Team Virtuosity, make that 3, make that 4! Santa finding 2 more in Hookah, and that's 4 players down for Event Horizon. Dana are going to have a lot to play against here, but is going to find that rifle from Lethal. Might be able to grab the rifle, might be able to get away with it. Might have to peek out with the Sheriff, do something here, get another pick if they can. He's going to find that rifle. Sander has something to work with here, might it? He's going to hop through that short TP, almost find Cooper. Comes that Brimsmoke. Cooper, they're just in the nick of time. Sander not quite able to find anything else other than a bit of damage.
Last round in the half.
Yeah, this was super well played by Team Virtuosity, I think. They know Event Horizon has been super aggressive. They're on an eco, so probably going to be even more aggressive. And they just hang back. They get the info, and they're able to get the kills. Super well played. Xander with a little bit of a chance right there. Got a little bit of damage to the economy. But yeah, overall, just a really, really well-handled round by Team Virtuosity.
Here.
Let's make some chaos.
Absolutely. And that was a very quick play there. 4 players for Event Horizon stacked up on B shore, and they got a little bit punished for their aggression. But this side, looks like they're also going to be aggressive this round as well. Stacked up on the A. Here comes that showstopper. Both showstoppers coming out here. But then Milkman comes in, and Event Horizon not going to be able to do anything with that showstopper. Stalker tries to find something, not able to grab anything quite yet. T-Bite finds a pick on a jar on the other side of the site. Viper's Molly blocks off default plan for just a second, gets a tick of damage, but not much else happens. Stalker looking to find something. But so I see Xander and CT not able to grab that pick onto him. So here comes Grimmel into short, finds Cooper. Riversand finds Stalker as well. Both short players knocked out, and Viper's pick out. Out comes the Viper's pick, blocks off that defuse a little bit. Tootsie peeking into short there and grabs those final 2 players. Event Horizon's gonna get the defuse off and keep it from going to 6-6 just as we go into the next half.
Nice, yeah, that was a really well done retake there by Event Horizon. Great job committing their ults. The Raise Rocket even getting canceled by the null command there, but still being able to pull it out. They just traded well on site, rotated through CT quickly, and I mean, I think they've playing these big team engagements super well, and it showed right there.
Absolutely, and that orbital strike just came at the precise wrong time for Cooper, grabbing out that pick. Absolutely. And rounding out the round a little bit, getting that much needed damage, a little bit of an advantage going into the second half here for Event Horizon.
Yep, now do keep in mind it's a defense-sided map for sure, and Event Horizon does have a very defense-heavy comp, but Team Virtuosity has a more offense-sided comp with that, or like I said, balanced with the double initiators, so I think it's still a pretty even game here.
Absolutely right, and I'm sure they were happy about not going 6-6 into the half on this defensive-sided map, but they're still going to have some stuff to work with here. We see this Cypher lurk coming in just on the other side of that Viper's wall. Something dramatic happening on that side, but here comes Event Horizon pushing out onto B, taking long by storm. This Stalker gets Xander just on the other side of the Viper wall, and the other Viper, Lethal, trades out for Riverside and finds a second on the bullets even, and jar grabs Cooper in short, but now it's 2v4 for Event Horizon. But Tootsie making to change that for sure, grabs a pick on the Lethal. Just has a classic to work with against 3 Team Virtuosity members, but playing close here with that Brim Smoke. Very close. Sea Stalker, not able to grab Santa. Down goes Tootsie. Down goes the Spike. No plant yet for Event Horizon.
Indeed, really well done this round. Finding that Cypher lurk early was super important. They tagged him with the KO knife, knew he had to be somewhere around there, and he was totally stuck, could not get out. They just ran him down with the Frenzy. Really, really well done. The rest of Event Horizon tries to do a quick push onto B, but just playing really good off angles. Lethal especially playing that off angle, and Hookah getting that early pick made it just, the side take was almost impossible.
Very difficult push there for Event Horizon. Maybe lost a little bit of advantage to the fact that there were so many players in Hookah. But now they're going to try to change that. Maybe play into Hookah themselves. They don't have any Cypher util to work into here, but they do have Lethal on top of box with a Guardian. Finds that headshot onto Riversand right away. A very important pick on the controller there. As Event Horizon is going to come flooding out into the site, Cooper's going to find one respectable. Lethal's going to find another with a Guardian. Four players down now for Event Horizon. And Xander left to fend for himself. But Cooper is there with the Spectre. Finds that third for that 3K.
Indeed, Team Virtuosity clapping back now with their own Flawless just after Event Horizon got theirs on the very first round of the game. Super well done. Again, just, I mean, you're on Eco. It's a difficult take. They try and just flood out. You definitely don't want to see that Flawless there. You'd like to get at least a few guns down, especially now having to play against this Outlaw with 3 people having light armor. This could be a very challenging round for Event Horizon. They really need it.
Yeah, like you said, Team Virtuosity is doing a really good job of playing those off angles. But oh my goodness, Tootsie finds Santa right off the bat. Another controller pick. That's going to be good for Event Horizon to make it easier for them to push on the site, but not so much. They have some Viper utility to deal with, but they are going to have some space of their own. Santa giving a little bit of respect there, I think. Gotta respect that space taken by Tootsie. Got that quick advantage. That off angle not quite working out, but we do have one here for Lethal, waiting for that push out from Showers, but they know that there's gotta be a player waiting. You see that the rest of Team Virtuosity is pushed out pretty heavy here. As Lethal finds one with the Outlaw, taking advantage of that light armor. Gonna be stuck in lamps. Here comes the paint shells trying to take advantage of Lethal stuck there and does find that headshot. So that Outlaw's gonna go down, and so is that Spike. Event Horizon 4v3 here. And the Team Virtuosity is gonna have some space to work with, but not so much, as they're gonna be trying to push into lamps. 2 Sky Flashes to deal with for T-Bite. Guardian headshot's not quite finding anything. Here comes that Viper wall out in short as Event Horizon cycles up to heaven to try to take some of that high ground. Stalker getting very close to Xander here. Is going to find him, but Xander gets the headshot first. 2v4 now for Team Virtuosity. Guardian coming through with T-Bite. The Riversend is in heaven. Quick out for Event Horizon, and putting an end to that round. Definitely a round that they needed for their eco.
Absolutely, that's the round you want to see from Event Horizon. Only losing 1 to the Outlaw there. Super well done. I was very worried for them in that mid round. They had both wings controlled on the outskirts of the map, but had given up all of the short control in the middle, and Team Virtuosity had taken all of it. They were just sitting almost in T-spawn, in market at the very least, just waiting for Event Horizon to make a move. But Event Horizon knew that that was a possibility, planted for CT, and ended up taking Heaven, and that was just super well thought out and very well done.
Actually, right, a little more of a default here for Event Horizon, but Team Virtuosity does have a Viper's Pit to work with almost here. And they're looking to maybe make use of it. Would be nice to force Event Horizon to rotate on the other side, but the spike is there, so they're going to have a comfortable rotate if that is the case. Out comes that Skydog, does find a couple of players from Event Horizon. And we see again, Team Virtuosity also playing pretty aggressive here on the defense, pushing up very far into Garden, almost all the way down A short as T-Bite with the Vandal. That Kobe space, Santa, Riversend finds that pick though. T-Bite grabs the trade in a second onto bullets as well. Recuperated onto Xander on the other side of the map, and Event Horizon is going to flood out into Hookah here, but they don't have a lot of numbers to work with. Team Virtuosity has 4 players on the map still, but none of them are on site. 2 of them are going to be in Garden, and Jar's going to find a little bit of contact here as Stalker grabs a headshot in a second onto Tootsie, and very quick round. A lot of damage done on the Team Virtuosity, but no bodies dropped except for just 1.
Wow, yeah, putting almost everybody left alive down to 1 HP. Just not hitting the heads that round. You gotta make sure you get those headshots. Really good aggression by Team Virtuosity, trying to re-clear short to get that info. I think that's something that you see a lot on this map. I'm a little surprised seeing it out of Team Virtuosity because you have that double initiator with so much info, and maybe even more than what you would normally expect. But they're using it super smartly to try and, like, if they get information on one side of the map, they're trying to push on the other side of the map and just make it very difficult for Event Horizon to make moves and to have open rotates, which is super important on Bind because of those TPs. You really want to be able to cut off. You really want to be able to cut off those rotates.
Very quick. It's a very quick, lot of space that they can take here, and looks like we're having some internet trouble on Event Horizon side. Bullets disconnecting. We are going to take a bit of a tech timeout here. But, yeah, like you said, we're seeing a lot of aggressive play on defense. Just like we saw in the first half from Event Horizon, we're seeing the same thing from Team Virtuosity. They have a lot of util to play with on those aggressive takes with that double initiator setup. And, yeah, they're really taking advantage of all the space that Event Horizon is affording to give them.
Absolutely.
Which, especially in these quick fights, is going to be quite a decent amount.
Absolutely, but I don't know if, like, defaulting is really the solution. As we saw on the other side, when Team Virtuosity would default, it felt like they would just end up taking unfavorable numbers fights. Like, you'd have one person out towards B long with 3 Event Horizon people walking down B long, and it's feeling like it's a similar situation now. Team Virtuosity is grouping up, pushing down longs, and if you default, you're very likely to get caught out by yourself and traded, or even get 2 like we just saw on this one through short. So a lot of the time, I think the way to play against this is to get aggressive of your own. Try and either catch their aggression with, like, where they're aggressing, or if they're not aggressing where you are, then you know that you have a weaker site that you're able to hit. So try and sort of play away from it and be aggressive against them and try and play a little bit faster than them maybe.
Absolutely. They have to really be careful because even though only one team does have a Sentinel, that doesn't mean that both teams can be aggressive. I think Event Horizon playing a little bit more passive here with that double controller setup and the Sentinel. They're gonna maybe be an end to their tech timeout here. Doesn't look like quite what's going on. Off goes that pause mash timer, so it looks like we're gonna get back into it here.
Absolutely. Let's see what Event Horizon is able to do with this eco. If they can get a Thrifty here, it might turn it back here.
They do just have one gun, to work with, but they are going to take their sweet time taking up that space. They are kind of the opposite of what we saw earlier. They're in those middle spaces, both those short pushes coming up. As Lethal here waiting to catch him off guard maybe, but not able to find the headshot onto Xander just as he peeks out. They do have some stuff to work with here. T-Bite backside doesn't see quite that Bullets is pushed all the way up into Lamps, but Bullets is there nonetheless. Has a classic, knows how to use it, does have some util to work with here, but T-Bite seems to be ready for it at least. How comes that plan on default a little bit, but it's going to be a bit of a fake. Event Horizon taps the bomb just one time and jumps to that TP very quickly, trying to force Lethal back into elbow, but does find two onto Event Horizon, but Riverside grabs that trade, finds a second with pick with the Sheriff and back sight, but Cooper finally takes out the menace of a Viper. And it's going to be a 3v2 here for Team Virtuosity as that bomb goes down. They're going to have a little bit of a number advantage going into this. But out come Event Horizon Seekers, giving them that much needed intel. They know that there's 3 players backside, and Tootsie takes well advantage of it, finds Cooper close. But there's still 2 players for Team Virtuosity backside. As they push onto the site, there's both of Event Horizon's players are going to be stacked into elbow. And I think Team Virtuosity knows that there's one there, knows that there's a second. It's going to be a gun game now, mostly, but there comes that knife to really make it so. Santa finds one on the Tootsie and finds a second on the Jar just through that corner. 24 HP left and going to be able to defuse that spike just barely in time.
Oh man, a super close round for Event Horizon to get the Thrifty there. I think that's a really good sign for Event Horizon. Even though they don't get the win, it gets super close. That KO knife right at the end, also really well done by T-Bite, just prevents their options so much. That's really that advantage of the KO. But on that eco, Event Horizon just abused the TPs. They kept people near the exits of the TP so that they knew it was safe, and then they were able to force rotates and then hit the TP super fast. That is the quintessential way to play bind, and I think it was super well done.
You're absolutely right. They're taking great advantage of being able to play with that TP space. Oh my goodness, Bullets and Santa fighting it out very close here. Bullets does find that pick onto Santa. Cooper finds Xander on the other side of the map, but there's still 4 players for Event Horizon to be able to push out onto site here as they're going to be flooding CT a little bit, but Cooper catches onto it, finds 2! Almost a collateral there for Cooper with that Vandal headshot, but Event Horizon walking all the way through Defender spawn onto B site. And Team Virtuosity is going to be playing a little bit of catch-up here into this 2v2 situation. Event Horizon does have an orbital strike into play. Bullets gets a pick onto Lethal, just 18 HP remaining, but there is going to be a second body to work with here. Just Stalker in a 2v1. Has a showstopper to use if they want to, but Event Horizon has one of their own, and it's going to be kind of hard to find 2 players out. If they have the smoke to push through, they have 2 players to push into. Do have some blast packs to work with, but not going to pop those quite yet. Here comes that showstopper from Event Horizon, and close calls here for Stalker, and Bullets does find that pick, making it a nice little 3K for Event Horizon. A little bit better, not quite finding the 50 last round, but did find the round win in this one.
Absolutely, and that was kind of what I was talking about. They decided to beat the aggression this time by going as fast as they possibly can, playing super aggressive, just instantly blast packing down short, killing the A players. The defense reacts super well, just the immediate TP and trying to pinch them on sight, but then Event Horizon again reacts well, going all the way through the enemy spawn and ending up planning back site B. Good committing of the ults as well to make sure that they finish off the rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And Event Horizon still has an orbital strike to work with.
I know exactly.
And Xander's gonna find that quick kill onto Santa. Out comes that neural theft, able to reveal the positions of Team Virtuosity was playing very aggressive through short here, but Event Horizon couldn't respond with some aggression of their own. Bullets finds the only player left on B site with that quick headshot is going to get healed up and have plenty of time to work with here as they get that bomb down back site. Once again, they still have that Viper's Pit and that Orbital Strike to work with here, but they're going to plant and run all the way back to the other site, really playing those mind games. Going to go plant on A, and Team Virtuosity seems to be none the wiser. They're still trying to creep into B, having to deal with those Brimstone smokes. But looks like they finally caught onto a T-Bite, pops to that long smoke with one player not right, just far. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, T-Bite and Stalker both do that long TP, with Cooper alone on short to work with, really playing into Riverside there. Just peek through the Viper wall, but finds the kill onto Cooper anyways. Now Team Virtuosity 2v5 with both players on site. Stalker has a Guardian to work with, isn't going to find anything. Jar's going to grab that headshot, and it's just T-Bite left alone, and Lamps isn't going to be able to get onto the bomb quite in time. Time's ticking down very slowly, looking for those picks. Not able to find anyone quite yet. Does see Riverside in the corner, but Jar in heaven going to grab that headshot from long range, and T-Bite's body's going to fall through short TP. There's Event Horizon with a flawless.
Indeed, the third flawless of this game. 2 for Event Horizon and 1 for Team Virtuosity right now. Another round of just super heavy aggression and then ending in a map flipped. Yep, I think that this timeout is really smart. 2 rounds in a row of Event Horizon running through spawn to get the plant is a pretty strange situation to end up if you're the defense. Now you are on an eco that round, and I think it's smart. You just go for the short push. You try and commit the raise ult, see if you can get a pick. Event Horizon's protocol is really good. They hear so many footsteps pushing down short. You know that you just want to hit a site as fast as possible because there's not going to be very many bodies on it. And works out. They get the anchor on B and end up running all the way through spawn and planting CTA. So worked out.
You're absolutely right. I had the pleasure of casting a couple of Event Horizon's other team, Event Horizon GC, and we saw some of that same sort of stuff, those very fast rotations from site to site, and I think they had a really good opportunity to use it here. Really had to force Team Virtuosity to play retake, and forced it almost twice, really. But, yeah, we're going into a little bit of timeout, but hopefully Team Virtuosity is looking to kill some of that momentum on Event Horizon's side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is what they're going to look for. And now you have to figure out how to deal with these fast site takes. You've gotten them 2 in a row of just take site as quickly as possible. It was a little different on that eco, but I think this is when you need to see if you can figure out how to counter that aggression.
Absolutely, we're seeing that some of that same aggression here from Team Virtuosity. 2 players stacked up into hookah, but no players left on site. Except for Stalker, who's trying to rotate around to get some space taken, but Tootsie and Riverside both controllers on to short, try to deal with these players that are being so aggressive. Stalker does find bullets on the other side of the map, but into Guardian, excuse me, but Jar's gonna have to jump through that TP, try to take some A space. Cooper just was more than ready in the back of sight. Xander trying to find some space through Lamps here as Event Horizon, takes short. Ready with that orbital strike on default, gets a couple ticks of damage on the Jar, and out comes that Viper's Pit as well from Event Horizon. Event Horizon still has an orbital strike to work with of their own, but they're going to save it for post-plant situation. They're going to play through that Viper's Pit, really get that plant down, make sure it's nice and safe. Santa falls to River Sand over by Showers. And here comes Team Virtuosity pushing through sight in a 4v3 situation now as Cooper grabs a pick and Lethal finds a second onto short. 2 Event Horizon players left, and both of them in the Viper's Pit. Xander falls T-Bite through a headshot to the wall, and Cooper grabs a pick on River Sand through the Viper's Pit, finishing out this round and gonna make it into 10-10. Still going on map 1.
Wow, very intense first map. That's honestly a very unfortunate Viper's Pit. I wonder if that was on purpose. It bled out mostly through like CT and Lamps, and it only just barely covered any plant area. So I felt like it was pretty difficult to play in. The double flank is super well done here by Team Virtuosity as well. They're able to get the timing right around. I believe it was Riverside, I think. Oh no, it was Tootsie getting the timing right around, which also prevented the Brim ult from being able to play post plant. Super wood round.
How comes that Viper Molly almost finds its way through the mesh there, but not able to quite grab at those lineups. Not coming in super important this time, but Riverside is going to look for some spray anyway. It's not going to find any damage quite yet. Lethal grabs a jump peek around, does spot bullets, and out comes the Skydog to get some intel in return. And here comes Event Horizon, breaking that spike down into Hookah. Trying to take some of that space, trying to play aggressive into those two Team Virtuosity players, because Team Virtuosity hasn't rotated onto site yet. It's just Lethal and T-Bite left to fend for themselves. Try to see some space. Lethal does find a pick on the Riverside, but Bullets tries to trade. Xander finds one on the T-Bite, and that null command is out, but it's going to go down. It's going to be stuck in place temporarily, and Jar's going to take it out of play. Santa pushing out onto Hookah here. He's going to look for a pick of his own. Not able to grab any kills quite yet, but he knows that there's a lot of players back site. Flash doesn't find any intel. Plant's going to go down into, and Team Virtuosity floating out on the site here. Out comes the orbital strike on a Hookah. Bullets finds Stalker, and Stalker finds Xander, but Bullets grabs the trade and finds a third pick onto Santa. It's just Cooper into 1v2, pushing through that Brimsmoke. Both players in CT looking to grab some sort of pick to make things even out here. We're pushing pretty aggressively here, trying to find that play through the wall. Bullets doesn't have a lot of HP to deal with, but neither does Cooper. And Bullets grabs that 4K, finishes up the 4K, just 20 HP left to work with. Finishes out the round, 11-10.
Great play there. Great cross right there at the end between Bullets and Tootsie. That got really dangerous there. I believe that was a 2v4 retake with them jumping out of Hookah, and it ended up being a 2v2, I believe, there for a second, but the cross there at the end just made it too difficult for Team Virtuosity to break through. Really, really well done for both teams there on that round, honestly. Lots of ults committed. Pretty much just the same thing, that these fast rotates and getting these CT plants are really working for Event Horizon right now.
Definitely right, and T-Boy tried to use that null command to balance out the 2v4 a little bit as Event Horizon was playing on the site, but wasn't quite able to do anything with it and fell quickly. And now there's just one ult on the map right now. Team Virtuosity has that Viper Spit, is not going to be able to use it because Xander finds Lethal over by Fountain. A little bit of aggressive play there from Team Virtuosity, gets punished by Xander. As Event Horizon is going to be looking to play onto A here, finds a pick onto T-Bite as well. Here comes Brimsmoke. Cooper is pushed far into Lambs here. He's going to find a kill with the Sheriff onto Riverside and no trade for Event Horizon. Santa finds a kill onto Tootsie with the Sheriff on the other side of the site. And now it's just 3v3 for both teams. Pretty even here, but Event Horizon is going to dive through the teleporter with two players, and Xander is already there to make up for it. Stalker's going to be alone on B site with the paint shell still coming into play. Doesn't find any damage. Bullets gets a kill on Stalker through the wall with just a headshot. And Team Virtuosity now a 2v3. Cooper has just 15 HP to work with. Out come the Seekers from Event Horizon side. You don't know that there's two players in back of sight. And not much HP to work with here. Bullets finds a headshot onto Santa, but Cooper grabs a trade with the Sheriff. Has 15 HP. Is going to see Xander, but Xander's going to see him first. Grab that body shot and take away that last rifle on Team Virtuosity's side.
Match point.
Yeah, Team Virtuosity going for the eco there instead of trying to force, playing for overtime. Although they got very close to winning a Thrifty there. Even with just the Sheriffs getting two picks on A and forcing the teleport rotate, super good. Event Horizon tagging Stalker with the Cypher Cam though down long ended up coming back pretty heavily because they knew then where the flanks were and were able to plant for backside again.
Absolutely, we saw Cooper with a nice little peek out there. So, my goodness, speaking of which, Showstopper gets put away by Stalker with the op kill on top of U-Haul. And Event Horizon looking for a little bit of entry there, but not able to do anything with it. Still a Viper Spit here to work with for Cooper, but Riverside's going to grab that trade after Cooper finds Tootsie with a headshot on the Judge. Still that op and back sight that Event Horizon's going to have to worry about Stalker. Trying to find something. Jar finds a pick with the Vandal though, finds two headshots, finds a third, puts that 3K away, and puts Event Horizon away to make it 12-11 here on map 1.
Wow, that was really well done. Team Virtuosity picking up the operator, trying to make something happen with it on top truck, and it works out perfectly. Getting the raise all out of his hands before he's even able to throw it for bullets. It was super well done. And then just, I mean, they were in all of the perfect positions. Event Horizon looked a little frazzled there after the op kill and just sort of rushed the plant and weren't able to get it down. We didn't see that willingness to rotate that round like we would normally expect from them.
I'd have been looking for a little bit more of an aggressive play there. Didn't really know how many players were on A that they would have to play into, but now they know that there's at least one. A little bit more of an aggressive placement here on the spike. You see that spike is more committed towards A side, but they have that teleporter to work with it. They really need to. There's 3 Virtuosity players on site. And Event Horizon Still looking for picks, still trying to find something. That Splash is going to get a little bit of intel, but not much else other than that. And Event Horizon taking their time, pushing very slowly up showers. Skyflash doesn't see anything around that corner, just waiting for some sort of pick, some sort of way to get
Cage triggered.
player out of the out of play. But Xander's finding his way up short on the other side of the map as well.
Here.
Does see the dog, but doesn't quite find anything quite yet. And we're just ramping up to something dramatic here. Here comes Event Horizon out at the site. Paint shells on both sides don't find any real damage, and Cooper is stuck in lamps. Has some players to play around, but is gonna make his way back into CT. Just see now pushing to ramps. That plant goes down on default, and out comes those flashes. T-Bite not able to choose a target. Tootsie finds a pick, and Cooper finds a trade onto Tootsie, but now just 40 HP to work with. Lethal finds the spray through the Viper Spit, or through the smoke, excuse me, onto River Sand. Now, Stalker with that up in heaven, looking to make some plays with it, but not able to find anything quite yet. Lethal bringing out that Viper's Molly, trying to force Jar out of the corner, not able to do anything with it. Does get the kill, but Viper finds him first, or, excuse me, Jar finds him first with the Bulldog. Now it's just a 1v1 Stalker, or a 1v2, and Xander makes that into a 2v0. Rounding out the map 13-11 in favor of Event Horizon.
My goodness, a very crazy final round there. So many kills through smokes and the Viper's orbs. I thought it was the ult. It was just such a complicated round there, but just really well done by Event Horizon to sort of keep that numbers advantage. They got the first blood and were able to just convert it into a round win there. Super well done by Event Horizon across the board. They abused the aggressiveness and the lack of a sentinel of Team Virtuosity on defense really effectively by pushing those extremities, and then on offense they were able to counter the aggression that the double initiator was able to give Team Virtuosity by either playing aggressive of their own or just making sure to get those first bloods and playing for late round rotates and really abusing those.
Absolutely. I think the fact that, you know, one team had a Sentinel and one didn't make a little bit of an impact on that match. You know, Team Virtuosity only had that Viper util to work with in order to stall out Event Horizon. They weren't able to do as much with it as I think they would have liked. Event Horizon was able to take advantage of that and play pretty aggressive all over the match.
Absolutely. I do. I want to see these stats. Yeah. Super interesting game. Really well done by Bullets there on the Rays. 4 first bloods. 24 and 15. Just a great dominant performance from your duelist. That's absolutely what you want to see. And I did notice that T-Bite, I mean, the KO just didn't seem like it was getting as much impact as you might have wanted. There were several rounds where that knife got really good info or took away abilities that resulted in clutches, but pre-round with like the strategies of where they want to put the knives and how they want to cancel, I didn't notice a lot of like being able to cancel the Cypher trips or hit the sky while she was in the process of dogging or anything like that. And I think that did end up coming back to bite them. I think Xander on the Cypher ended up just having a little bit more impact, despite maybe what their KDs say, than what the KO had on Team Virtuosity's side.
Absolutely, and I think Xander was able to play around with those Cypher trips, get some intel, a much needed intel, especially on the side of Event Horizon. We're able to catch out some of those more aggressive plays that Team Virtuosity was looking for with those double initiators, and I think they weren't quite able to capitalize on all those flashes that they had at hand. Event Horizon, they're playing aggressive, but they were also playing careful. They were playing back of sight. They were playing, you know, they played all the way into long a couple times, so stay away from those flashes. Take advantage of the ability to just kind of wait out Team Virtuosity and play for those almost post-plant situations.
Absolutely, I think that's a really good way to put it. They were playing aggressive but careful. Except for maybe a few rounds there in the defensive, it didn't seem like they were over pushing without some sort of support behind them, some sort of like preparation for a flash or to avoid an enemy flash or something like that. A really well done job of aggressing when it was appropriate, and then hanging back and make sure to play those post plans, play those crosses, that sort of thing.
You're absolutely right. Well, we're going to go into a very exciting map 2 here onto Lotus for this match between Team Virtuosity and Event Horizon. We're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back after this.
The back room, haters look mad when they pass you. Let's talk about round when it's past due. Reach a glass, do no. You don't gotta fight alone. Alone.
All right, and welcome back to Titans of Tier 3, week number 2, Event Horizon versus Team Virtuosity. We're going on to map 2 here, we're going on to Lotus, and if I remember correctly, I think this was picked by Event Horizon.
Absolutely, it was the Event Horizon pick, and this is the map that they beat Team Virtuosity on just a month ago in December in another tournament. So I definitely think Event Horizon is feeling really good about winning the first map. Virtuosity's pick 13-11, super well done. But that doesn't mean that this map is over by any means. It has definitely, we've had these Lotus updates since the last time they played each other on it, and maybe Team Virtuosity has some tricks up their sleeve that Event Horizon doesn't know about.
You're absolutely right, and especially you see that Virtuosity picked defense first. This is a more of a defensive-sided map now after these changes. They have a lot more corners to hide and a lot more boxes to play around, and it's going to be very interesting to see what Virtuosity decides to do with that, and they have a lot of new, sites to work with. B site and C site got changed a lot more, but they're going to have some things different on A site as well, and it's going to be fun to see all these different strategies that both these teams bring to the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially those B site changes, I think, are a pretty big deal. The map is so much more open now, or the site, excuse me, is so much more open. It allows for a more diverse post plant, which means that you don't have to. It felt like before on B, you either went there when there was like kind of mid-round and there had already been a lot of people to die and you just needed somewhere to plant, or you tried to plant like 4C link and pressure C link. But now it feels like it's a much more available site to, if you can hold it, if you can take it, post planning on it is much stronger. Now, the counter of that is that holding B site is also much stronger. The usual defensive setup was just put a piece of KJ util there and don't play on B. But now, with all of the extra corners, you can play a really nasty cross on defense on B, and it can be almost impossible to take. So it's a very interesting trade-off.
You're absolutely right, and there's a crossfire opened up on C as well. That those new changes busted open that left side of the site a little bit as you're going in from main. And now things are a little bit more open for the defenders. They're going to have more space to play around. They're going to have more chances, I guess, to play kind of aggressively. And I think Event Horizon especially is going to be looking to play aggressively on these defensive setups.
Absolutely. And I do have something just to note to maybe watch out for. One of my teammates was just talking to me today about some of the changes that they made on this map was making the walls a lot thinner. And there are a ton of new wall bangable spots that are absolutely absurd with an Odin, like spots into B main and into A main from extremely safe positions. So I'm really interested to see if we get maybe some Odin play on this map.
Absolutely. If there's a lot more potential for wallbangs, there's a lot more potential for pretty aggressive positionings. And I think we might see some of that. We see bullets on a neon pick.
Yeah, wow, this is a
Lotus.
very
That is
interesting.
There's some aggressive potential there, I think, from Event Horizon especially. They're going to have both Omen and Neon to work with. They're going to get in there. They're going to take space as much as they can. Team Virtuosity, sort of almost a mirror. Not quite. They have a different duelist and a different sentinel. But
Yeah.
both teams coming out with Sky, Omen, and Viper. That double controller setup. Again, a lot of lockdown potential. A lot of potential to just sit on site and stall out the other team.
Absolutely. I think the Cypher switch up is really interesting. KJ is definitely on meta, but then Raze is also on meta, and Neon is not. I think if you're Bullets, you don't want to see the Cypher. Playing Neon against Cypher kind of sucks. Against KJ, it's not so bad. You can kind of just run out of the mollies and not take too much damage. But with the trips, it can really, really cancel your momentum, and you don't have like a grenade like Raze does to break them. So I think Event Horizon is going to want to prioritize breaking that Cypher util early in the rounds.
Absolutely. And you see that we saw the Cypher pick on Event Horizon's side in this first map, and we're seeing it on Virtuosity the second map. So I wonder, maybe Team Virtuosity is taking a little bit of inspiration from Event Horizon, trying to play aggressive with that Cypher. They had a lot of opportunities last map Event Horizon did to play around with those Cypher trips, trying to block off those rotates a little bit. And I think Team Virtuosity, I expect that we'll see some of that same aggressive space taking on defense that we saw on map 1, where they're really pushing up into those more middling spaces. Probably going to be on B main a little bit, be by those doors. take advantage of the space that they're given.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that is. I think that's the goal for the defense is definitely taking space on like either the A or C main side. I think that that's really smart, and I wonder how Event Horizon is gonna handle that with the Neon. Fun fact: when I played for Event Horizon, this was the comp we ran with the Neon. So I'm interested to see if they've adapted it or if they've kept a lot of the similar strats that we used to have, because there was some really interesting Neon tech you could do back then that was just different than the other duelists. Even just like different, like obviously the dive style of Raze and Neon are very different, but the stuns, you could have weird stun lineups that would just put the other team in a very strange position, and I'm very interested to see what they do with that.
Absolutely, like I said, there's a lot of potential for aggressive plays with that Omen and Neon combo, and it'll be interesting to see how Team Virtuosity is going to play around that. They do have some potential, and we are probably going to see some of that Cypher playing those aggressive setups, trying to get Neon to stop in her tracks a little bit, trying to play around Event Horizon's probably upcoming aggression that we'll see on offense here.
Absolutely, yeah. I do think the Cypher is going to be really in charge of trying to slow this Neon down.
Speaking of which, here comes that Neon sliding into main. All of Event Horizon playing pretty aggressively up A main here. They do have that Viper wall to push through, but don't have any players on the other side to contend with. Out comes that smoke into heaven, and Bullets is going to take over site a little bit here. Push all the way up, trying to take as much space as possible, and they're going to push right into Team Virtuosity's hands. It's T-Bite pushing through that map, pushing through that broken door. Isn't going to break it right away, going to play around it a little bit, maybe take some time. Trying to find a pick there. Cooper peeks out, gets a little bit chunk of damage on to Team Virtuosity, but doesn't find anything with it right away. Stalker spams through the smoke, doesn't find anything. T-Bite still trying to break out of broken door here. Lethal finds a pick on a River Stand on the other side, and T-Bite finds Tootsie. No trades for either of those picks, but Team Virtuosity doesn't have a lot of space to work with still, but Lethal finds a pick on the Bullets and Stalker on the Jar. Event Horizon's gonna fall pretty quickly there as Lethal broke onto site and took out a few of their players.
Wow, yeah, really good take by Event Horizon. They decided, I mean, the Neon speed, those two stuns in main were really good at stopping the aggression. That was some of the tech I was talking about, and they just decide to blitz it down as quick as possible. They get the site for free, but their post plant isn't able to work out. It's a fantastic retake here out by Team Virtuosity, and I think that's a really good sign. Being able to effectively retake on this defense is really important in Lotus, just because the rotates are so, like, they're so fast for the offense and so slow for the defense at times that being able to play retake is really important.
Absolutely, we've talked about this before, but Lotus has a lot of potential for very fast rotates and fast retakes. All these sites are so close together, which means that they can play kind of default and still be able to rotate over fairly quickly. And we see Event Horizon, though, speaking of quickly, all the way onto site already. All 5 players push into trees just past that rotating door, blocking off that spot in the drop and getting up into that rope into heaven. Trying to find some picks here. Bullets is going to find Cooper with the stinger. Very fast play here again from Event Horizon. They're already pushed out on the site. They have 4 players out. Another pick with the stinger onto Lethal. T-Bite's going to have to fight with this Bulldog, fight for as much space as he can manage. There's still 2 players for Team Virtuosity into main, and they're not going to find anything right away either. Stalker trying to poke away, get some of that grenade damage in. Those paychills are going to come out backside. The blinding light out from Sky, and Riverstand's going to find 2 with the Bulldog onto both Stalker and Santa. All that retake kind of stopped in its tracks a little bit, and Xander's going to, or T-Bite, excuse me, going to have to walk away and save some of that money.
Wow, Event Horizon here. I don't even think that was a true force. I think that everyone would have been able to buy next, even if Event Horizon lost. But they just sprint down with the Stingers. They get a mostly open site, and instead of trying to play the post plant, they say, okay, post plant didn't work last time. Let's try and just keep aggressing and see if we can get kills. We kind of saw this on the bind. They really need those first bloods to be able to, like, for their strat to work really. And with Neon, that makes a lot of sense. You're a really aggressive comp. You need those first bloods. So they just kept pushing until they got him that time, and it worked out so well for them.
Absolutely, they have all that space to play with. There's only 1 player left on A for them to fight against. They were able to really take over all of site. And now we're going to see maybe something different on the other side of the map. We're seeing a little bit more spread towards C site. A little more loot, a little more util dump towards C main, and few more players from Event Horizon here is pushing out on the site. They're gonna have to push through that Cypher utility, but they're not gonna find it right away. But there it is. Xander finds a pick on the T-Bite with the Bulldog, and that Cypher util is gonna be rendered useless. Bullets got stopped in his tracks for a bit there, but didn't really stick around for too long as Lethal finds a pick on a Tucson to beat with the Sheriff. But there's still only 3 players for Team Virtuosity here. 3v4 Bullets able to get that Bulldog span onto Santa in the back of sight. There's still only just 2 players for Team Virtuosity now. 2v4, pushing into some well-held angles for Event Horizon. And speaking of which, gonna hold that angle, find Lethal with a headshot on the Bulldog, and gonna slide out. Stalker right into Stalker's crosshair, finds that Bullets. Looks like their namesake is their greatest enemy right now. As Stalker finds that Stinger headshot. Gonna have to try and get that Boombot to find any sort of intel, but might have to save the Stinger here as the bomb is counting down, and there's still 3 Event Horizon players on site for them to push through. Not too much util here for them to work with, but that spike is gonna tick down, and out it goes. Event Horizon's gonna escape to main with all the guns in the world.
Absolutely. That was really close. That was a good setup by the Cypher, and again, we saw the Neon getting stopped, but Xander, like you mentioned, that Neon Omen combo, Xander just TPing in, getting the high ground, able to kill the Cypher and just take the site for free after that. Really well done. Some good Sheriff shots there at the end to get some economical damage, but for the most part, that round, I mean, another just extremely aggressive take by Event Horizon, getting that first blood, continuing the aggression, and ended up winning the round.
We're definitely really seeing why Event Horizon picked Lotus for this map. It looks like they have some aggression planned out, and they're gonna do just exactly that. Speaking of aggression, here comes Stalker down A main. But Event Horizon's on the other side of the map once again this round, so they're not gonna butt heads quite yet. But Lethal finds a little bit of heads right there. Viper only comes through, but here comes the Neon Stun. Event Horizon not quite pushing into sight yet. They don't know how many players for Team Virtuosity are on site that they're gonna have to push into. So they're gonna be trying to rotate out, get through that rotating door onto B. Find a little bit of spam to the box. Not gonna get any purchase. They're gonna back out through C main here. Once again, not a lot of movement from Team Virtuosity, waiting on that potential to rotate quickly from site to site here. Stalker still pushed far down A main. I don't think Event Horizon is expecting this. Flash finds some intel, so they know that someone is nearby. They might be figuring out that someone's there, but Lethal finds someone else on the other side of the map, finds Tootsie, and Xander grabs a trade, but Stalker already has picked off a headshot. Jar's gonna find that trade onto Stalker, but it's just a 3v3, and Event Horizon still has to work their way all the way up through A main, through that Viper wall.
30 seconds left.
Although I guess that's their own Viper wall, but they're going to rotate again quickly here as T-Bite finds Xander with the classic on C, taking out that Bulldog and grabbing a rifle for himself. Now 2v3, and Event Horizon still has to find their way onto a site somehow. Both players are full HP, and Team Virtuosity has one on pretty low health. He's going to get out of the way. Going to free up the space for Event Horizon to plant, but they're still going to have to play for post plant and demand in a numbers disadvantage. They have some util to work with here. None of that Viper util to be placed, but they still have the blinding light to work with for Sky. Going to find that headshot on the T-Bite. Cooper finds the heads up with the Guardian onto River Sand, but doesn't have too much HP to work with. It just has 5 health. Going to have to back off a little bit, wait for his teammate to push on the site with. Holding his angle. Does find Cooper in just 1v1. Santa gets pushed out a little bit, but Jar's gonna find that headshot. A sweet little 4K clutch here from Jar, finishing out that 3v2.
Wow, that was just amazing shots by Event Horizon. Honestly, I think that Team Virtuosity really played that pretty perfectly. That's the first round they're really able to get that A take going, which I think is really important on the defense. Notice they threw the nade behind Rubble there to try and prevent the Neon from being able to quickly get out behind Rubble or the Omen TPing there before the nade would connect main. So you're able to take all of that space. You do really good damage when they try and fight it back, and then they just barely lose out on that clutch round. I think it was really almost perfectly played by both teams.
Absolutely. Now there's not going to be any raise nade onto Rubble this time for Team Virtuosity because they're pushed far down B. 4 of Event Horizon's players are going to be into A, and I don't think Tootsie was expecting that one. Gets caught out with a headshot on the Sheriff from Stalker. But Event Horizon's going to have most of A to play with. They're going to have all this space to take in back of sight. Lethal's going to be pushed out forwards a little bit. Isn't going to find... Oh my goodness, isn't going to find any headshots with the Sheriff, and Xander's going to get that Vandal spam right back on him. A little bit of an unfortunate spam from the Sheriff there, not finding any purchase, but they know that there's more. player from Team Virtuosity. A little bit of an unlucky Viper bounce. Out comes the Neon ult. Doesn't find any kills, but finds some damage. Xander grabs a kill on the Stalker. Now it's a 3v2 for Event Horizon. Just those two players left. Little team flash there. Has to back off. Relinquish some of that space. We respect that Team Virtuosity has the numbers advantage here, and Cooper finds that final headshot onto Xander, finishing out the round. A little bit of an econ advantage for them after that.
Wow, yeah, great Thrifty there. You really want to see that if you're Team Virtuosity. Don't let the economy roll too far in the other direction. I think Event Horizon over-aggressed a little bit there. We saw, I think, 3 of them die pushed up past like CT and either into stairs or heaven. You're up there. It's equal numbers on an eco, and they believe that most of them should be flanking when Tootsie dies on the flank. So I think that's why they push up there. But it ends up definitely coming back to bite them. The Sheriffs just really taking heads off there. That I don't think they were expecting that to happen.
A lot of damage done by those Sheriffs. Again, didn't look like they were quite ready for that flank, even though it was an eco round. They might have expected it, but no flank, no such flank this time. But they are going to be pushed down through A main. Team Virtuosity is. Xander's going to find 1 kill onto Riverside and find a second on the Tootsie in B, and now it's just a 3v5 for Event Horizon. They still have to get on the site. They have to get to that site for util. There is going to be an open teleport up high. Xander's going to find that kill onto Lethal on the second on the T-Bite. Now it's making that a 3v3. Both teams pretty even here, but Team Virtuosity is spread out. They're going to have to group up a little bit more. They don't know how aggressive Event Horizon is placed up here. All 3 players stacked up on his CT. It's blinded. Santa, oh my gosh, spam through the paranoia, finds 2. Bullets is going to be able to get that trade, and now it's just a 2v1. Out comes the showstopper from Team Virtuosity. Taps to bait out the pick a little bit, and there it goes. Stalker getting that final kill onto Bullets. That was a very quick turnaround for Team Virtuosity. That 3v4, excuse me, the 3v3, pardon me, turning into a very fast round end.
Absolutely, these retakes from Team Virtuosity, when they have at least even numbers, is super. They're just really strong with it. That Omen getting the double kill CTE was super helpful, but even without it, just the Raze ult pushing back site would have been really strong. You saw Bullets try and get that Neon run to escape it, but he just wasn't quite able to. And yeah, they're retaking really well. They're putting pressure on a lot of different angles and really anticipating this CT aggression now out of Event Horizon.
Absolutely right. It worked the first time pretty well. It worked the second time not quite as well. They were able to get that final kill, but not able to do much else with it. Now we're seeing some of that aggression here as they come down B main. Jar finds that kill into Santa. B's going to be split up a little bit. They have a Cypher Cam there to work with, but how come those Seekers are going to find some players? They know that there's some aggression happening on A main. Going to have to deal with that Viper only, and Team Virtuosity responds with some Seekers of their own. Not able to get quite as much useful intel out of it, but now they're gonna back off. Lethal peeks out of B main, finds that KJ turret stuck there. Now Event Horizon knows that they're gonna have to work with some stuff. As times Omen TP into back of sight does find T-Bite, but T-Bite able to pull out the gun a little bit faster, get that kill onto Xander. Just barely in time, gonna make it into a 4v4 here. No ults for Event Horizon to work with, but they are gonna have some space and time on their side. T-Bite does find that pick on a River Sand though. Taking out that Viper stall util, but Bullets gets a trade and then Lethal finds a trade right back. 2v3 now for Event Horizon. Stalker able to overwhelm Tootsie on the backside, and Lethal able to pick up that final frag on the Jar. Gonna make it 4-3 for Team Virtuosity.
Yes, well done. Again, these retakes, they're putting pressure on a lot of different angles, and it's working out for them. And honestly, I think Event Horizon shot themselves in the foot there a little bit. They were fully set up for the B take. They got the pick B main, and they heard the aggression. The aggression was called in that was coming in A main, and instead of just pushing B, or even quick hitting C where they had a lot of control on Mound, it looked like they decided to go back and try and fight the A aggression. And it just ended up giving the defense time to kind of rotate and put themselves back in the positions they want to once again on those retake situations in the post plant where Team Virtuosity is able to hit from multiple angles. So instead of just like kind of taking B when they had the opportunity and player advantage, they decided to go back and try and fight it instead. And I don't think that worked out for them.
Yeah, a bit of a They wanted to get some kills, and they weren't quite able to find what they were looking for. They had to play. They played into that aggression and weren't quite able to grab any trades out of it. Had to play back a little bit, play a little more careful. And in the end, they
Yeah.
weren't quite able to find what they were looking for. Had to force themselves into a situation that wasn't quite as advantageous for them as it would have been on B.
Absolutely, and it was really well done by Team Virtuosity as well. They aggressed up A, but instead of just continuing to push through when it seems like Event Horizon might want to come back and fight them, they just run away, and Event Horizon burns a lot of their util in trying to track them down.
Now we're going to see a little bit more of a default play here from Event Horizon, not committing that spike anywhere quite yet, looking to grab a pick and bring out that aggression. Now we see that Cypher setup is spread kind of far around to both B and A, not onto C though, where they see that Sky Flash. Gator's going to find a little bit of damage on Stalker, but other than that, number of shells is going to be gained, and as Event Horizon is going to be pushing up through A main here. Little spam to the box, doesn't find Lethal in the corner. Lethal's going to peek out, find a headshot, find a second kill on a Xander, and Riversman's going to grab that trade. Bullets is going to pick one up on T-Bite in 3v3 situation for Event Horizon. Out comes that Viper's Pit onto site. Going to get that bomb down. The Bullets playing pretty aggressive here, looking for any sort of picks that they can find before they can get onto site. No CT aggression yet from Event Horizon. All playing into that Viper's Pit, which extends pretty far into CT though. Here comes that lockdown a little bit later. Trying to force Team Virtuosity to play around it. But they're going to play aggressive right into it. They're going to try to see if they can get any picks on it, but they're not going to be able to. Cooper just barely gets out of that lockdown just in time. Doesn't get tamed. Lockdown doesn't find anything. There's some aggression coming out from Event Horizon here. Bullets is going to find Santa in the back of sight. Getting in 2v3 with that Viper's Pit down. Looks like Team Virtuosity going to run out of time. You're going to have to run away. Going to save their guns. Play for any sort of picks that comes their way, but not able to find anything. A little bit of long-range poking happening here, but no kills for Team Virtuosity.
Indeed, yeah, I think that was pretty smart to save there. Event Horizon committing a lot of ults there to win the round. I think it was really smart and very well done. Losing a round, or winning a round on a retake against a Viper's Pit and a KJ ult with all of the mollies still available for both of those characters becomes very, very difficult. So I think it was smart for Team Virtuosity to just try and save the guns there. Event Horizon, again, with this just aggression and being able to trade out this time. They got caught off a little bit by one of those new angles, but they were able to trade it quickly and still make the round win.
There we go, we're seeing some of that same aggression from Event Horizon here, pushing up quickly. Tussie fell pretty early on to that op on C, so they're just going to have 4 players to work with here. They're going to push into site, try to make some use out of it, trying to get that aggression. Riversand is going to find Stalker, but C-Bite's going to find that trade onto Riversand, get that neural theft out just in time. But it's not really going to matter. Team Virtuosity, just 2 players left into the 3 of Event Horizons. You have From the Shadows to work with on the side of Team Virtuosity and that Viper's Pit, but they're not going to find anything value-wise out of it quite yet. That spike is pretty far into sight. It's guarded very well by Event Horizon's players. Spam the smoke, doesn't find anything. Pushing out, doesn't see anything to the wall. Going very narrowly around both of the Event Horizon players in that smoke. Pushing through, finds them. Missed that spam just barely, and Bolus can find that final pick on the Lethal.
Yep, well done again by Event Horizon. They lose the first blood this time, get opt C, but again, just being extremely aggressive towards A. They're able to get all of those kills, crunch the people on site. Poor Sky there, back site, trying to dog for a teammate, but he's just getting attacked from too many angles. Just really well done. Event Horizon is, again, just being extremely aggressive and making it work.
Really showcasing that this, once again, aggressive team comp can do a lot here. Especially now that Team Virtuosity, even though they're expecting it, there's going to be quite a brawl that's coming up here. A lot of players on both sides on A. And that spam comes very close to grabbing Cooper out of the middle of nowhere. Not finding anything quite yet. Some spam to the box. Getting positions. Broken is going to get broken. Stalker tries to get through the Viper wall to find something. The Bullets is there to answer the pick on a Cooper. And goes narrow around Santa, but Bullets is going to find that kill anyways. Just 1 player now. Just a 1v4 for Team Virtuosity. Lethal has a Viper's Pit to work with and has some mollies as well, but that bomb's going to go down.
Spike planted.
Have to fight into some ults here if that does happen, but Event Horizon is ready for it. Jar does fall to Lethal, gets a headshot. But Tootsie has a deadly flank here. He's going to find that last pick onto Lethal.
Unfortunate, rough eco. I like the stack, but I do really think that Team Virtuosity was really finding round wins when they were playing for those retakes. These last several rounds, it feels like Event Horizon has gotten what they want. These fast sight hits where they're able to kill 2 or 3 people on site and be up so many numbers and ultimates that the retake is almost impossible. So I think if you're Team Virtuosity, you really want to be looking towards maybe trying to play more heavy on the retake. It seems like it was working very well for them.
Definitely playing. Looks like they're playing heavily on retake now. They have 4 players into A main and no aggression from Event Horizon on that side. Now they're playing pretty aggressively towards the rest of the map. Skyflash out, finds 1 player on B main, and they know that there's something there. They know that there's something they're gonna have to push into, but Event Horizon is not giving them any space quite yet. Bringing that spike around, walking right up to Stalker. Doesn't see anything. A little bit of timing there. Jar comes around the corner just in time. Not quite. Just very close here. 4 Event Horizon out from those Seekers. Stalker has to back away from Rubble. Give up a little bit of space there. Respect the Seekers and let Event Horizon push up space a little bit. He does have those smokes on C. Doesn't really do much with it. But he does find a pick on a Santa. Killjoy turret. Helping out. And Event Horizon's going back the other way. They know there's rotation coming out because Xander is on the site. There's no one else on C for them to deal with. They're going to be able to do something there. Riversand's going to find a kill on the Cooper on the way.
30 seconds.
Now it's a 5v3 for Event Horizon. Make that a 2v5 or 5v2. That bomb's going to go down and back a site. And now it's just 2 players from Team Virtuosity put into, and Event Horizon's got all the angles to hold in the world.
Especially with all these new changes. Look at where the Zoman is.
Absolutely, that corner and that box right next to Holman is a very strong post plant spot. They have a lot to work with here, just waiting for Team Virtuosity to walk into their hands. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Team Virtuosity going to save their rifles, going to save for next round to kill some of that Event Horizon momentum and maybe get away with some aggression of their own next round.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that round really looked very good for Team Virtuosity. Again, they get that calculated aggression A main where
oh no!
Ooh, oh my goodness, that's great for Team Virtuosity. I mean, it's the last round, so the eco really doesn't matter, but it's very good for them that they didn't lose those guns. Super important. But they get that very good A main aggression. Really, Stalker is holding it very well. They force out the Sky ult for Event Horizon to try and take it back. I think it was just a couple maybe ill-advised B main swings. Again, puts the numbers in Event Horizon's favor. And that lurk by the name Xander just also really shut the round down.
Here comes an aggressive Viper's Pit. You think Virtuosity on the C, but there's no players from Event Horizon there. They have to push through it. But there is some aggressive Neon play here. Bullets all the way out into A link. Not gonna find anyone right away, not respecting that. Cooper doesn't find a pick on the Jar, but Titi grabs the trade, and T-Bite finds Riversan out on the outskirts. Still a 4v3 here for Event Horizon, but they don't quite have the bomb down yet. They have some rotation. They do feel like it. Xander does find a pick on a Santa through the corner. Not much else here for Event Horizon though, but Bullets has gotten all the way around, went all the way through defender spawn and found that pick onto Stalker. They're gonna have A to work with, but does fall to T-Bite. Xander able to grab that trade, make it a 2v1 for Team Virtuosity. That spike is gonna go down. Right, so you have all the space to play with, and you see Xander pushed very far up here. Has that CT control. Doesn't want to give it up to Lethal, who might be looking to make some sort of play with it. Xander there to make that final kill, get that 3K, and widen their lead a little bit.
Nice, yeah, really well played. It was, I mean, again, Team Virtuosity looking good at the beginning. They stalled that B aggression. I mean, it looked really bad. I think there were 4 members blind in that A link area with the Neon running them down, but the Sky Dog was able to stall that off. They stall out the really aggressive hit, and it looks okay, but then Event Horizon is just able to get some really, really good kills and just open up another site. And that 2v1 retake is just, again, it's really hard to do those retakes low on numbers. I think Team Virtuosity has won almost all the retakes with even numbers, but it's just so difficult when you're down numbers.
Absolutely. We were saying at the beginning that this was more of a defender-sided map, but I mean, it's 8-4 going into the second half, and Event Horizon is up by 4. So they're gonna have a little bit of an advantage here. Still have all those corners to play with, but they're gonna choose to play aggressive. That Viper's there. Here comes the blind and the flash from 2 players, gonna find Cooper and Stalker. All 3 players from Team Virtuosity are gonna fall to Event Horizon. That spike is already down, but not helpful. Is the fact that T-Boy takes quite a bit of damage, just down to 26 HP. He's gonna grab that spike and go over to A side, where Lethal is waiting, has that space, able to get in through door and let Event Horizon know that something's going on A side. Pull almost a little bit of timing there on the mollies, but T-Boy able to jump through it, get that bomb down backside, and Event Horizon still 2v5 here. Not a lot of HP to work with for either of the players of left for Team Virtuosity. A broken door is going to go down. T-Bye looking for some space here. Isn't ready for Tusi to be that close, and Tusi's going to grab it. He's going to get overwhelmed on main, and flawless pistol round for Event Horizon.
Another one, once again, have it on bind as well. That trap play on C is just so strong. It is beautifully done with the Sky Flash and the Omen Blind. It's so hard to deal with if you're grabbing the orb there. Really, really well done by Event Horizon. They get the read on where the hit is and just absolutely tear it apart. Really just, yeah, that trap play really set the round up right there.
Very aggressive play here coming out from Event Horizon. We saw this similar thing on defense where they're playing fast with all that different util that they have, but looks a little bit different on defense. They're still anchoring to these sites pretty heavily. Still waiting for those rotates to come out from Team Virtuosity, but they haven't had the chance to play with that quite yet. Here we go. We're seeing a little bit more of a default setup here. Team Virtuosity is going to be focused towards B main, and bullets come screaming down A main. That Viper util doesn't quite find any value. But we're still seeing aggressive play here from Event Horizon. Xander pushed all the way down through A main as his teammates are pushed down, or Xander pushed down through C main, excuse me, as his teammates are pushed down through A main. Door's gonna open, and Xander just on the other side isn't quite ready for it. You're gonna have some players to deal with. Here comes the... Let's find a pick on the T-Bite though, but Stalker's able to pick up that trade with the Stinger. Now they're gonna try to get some purchase on the C here. They know that there's a player there. They didn't see it with the dogs, they don't know who it is, but Lethal gonna fall to Jar. That aggression on aiming coming in clutch for Event Horizon. Now 4v3 with retake potential on the way for the defenders here. Out comes that plant into a very open spot. Gonna be able to be seen from Mound, but here comes some players from Event Horizon who might be able to see that plant. Right from Molly. It's a decent amount of damage.
Whoa.
Cooper does find a pick on the Riverside, but Jar's there to grab the trade.
One enemy remaining.
Let's see, follows the Stalker.
Standing.
Jar grabs that pick on the Santa, picking up a 3k. And Stalker's low on HP here, just has 20 health to work with. He's able to grab that final kill. Round up the round. Get some much needed recon over Event Horizon.
Wow, yeah, well, it wasn't technically a thrifty, I guess. I think they did force a couple stingers. I don't believe it was a true force, although it might have been. I didn't quite see the buy right before the round started, but that's a huge win for Team Virtuosity. They're down numbers in the post-plant scenario, and just they're able to pick off the Event Horizon members trying to fight Mound really effectively, and just super well done, and a hugely important round for them to stay in this game.
Absolutely, it's going to turn the tide a little bit. They're still looking for those aggressive rotates. You see that all 5 Team Virtuosity players are going to start playing towards A main, and they're playing right into Event Horizon's hands. Here comes Bullets.
Oh!
He's going to find a sheriff kill on the Lethal Jar. Bullets not finding anything, but Xander finds a second onto Santa. That spike is now down, and Team Virtuosity is going to have to pick it up and run back towards B.
Here.
Right towards that KJ utility. I see that they're missing some chunks of HP. They do say that KJ turret, so the intel is known. Here comes Event Horizon into that little aggressive position. Stalker doesn't find any shots for the Guardian, but Bullets is there to find 2. And is T-Bite left alone on site. Gets a headshot on the Tootsie with the Vandal. Just looking through there, but not expecting that flank from Riverzon to come through. Grab that final kill on the T-Bite to round out the round. Again, a 10-5 in favor of Event Horizon.
Wow, that's just back and forth. The eco win for Team Virtuosity, not quite a thrifty, but still close enough. And then I'm not sure if this will be a thrifty or not. Let's see. It was indeed Event Horizon getting the thrifty with that late A aggression. Really interesting. You usually see it where you just sort of hit A main very early to try and take level control, so that you can focus elsewhere in the map, or you do sort of a similar thing C. But instead, Event Horizon deciding to wait and attempting another trap play in A, and it worked out super well. Honestly, it was really just great shots. I don't think a lot of the blinds or util even hit the marks. It was just everybody was hitting their shots, and that's all you really need.
We can see even from looking at the scoreboard a little bit that people are definitely hitting their shots for sure. Xander and Bullets both a healthy amount of kills to their name. And might be able to find some more here. Riversong takes a decent chunk of damage. Almost falls, but left with just 5 HP. Has to run away and go grab some healing, but is going to pop up that Viper Orb on their way out. Some good damage. The Stalker's pushed in with the Judge, finds Xander. One away from that Showstopper. And they're going to get healed up over on C. Team Virtuosity is going to have that space to work with. Going to get that bomb down. Going to get those Seekers out on Event Horizon side. Find some players. The Bullets might know that something's up here. Doesn't know that T-Bite's quite that high up, and T-Bite's going to find the kill. Gets the Neuro Theft out, but not able to do anything with it. Tootsie's going to find the trade right back on top of things. Riversand looking for some sort of purchase here. Grabs the util and backs up. And Jar's going to heal on his teammates. 3v4 here for Event Horizon. Guardian spam through smoke was a little bit close, but doesn't quite get what they're looking for. Cooper is close. Gets found out by the dog. Has to back away with that Judge. Takes a decent chunk of damage on his way out. Plenty of smokes covering the entrance, but nothing too big quite yet. Riversand does find a shot on the lethal with the Guardian. The time's ticking down here. The spikes wins the purchase. Cooper, the last one left alive with just 26 HP. Has to find something with a Judge, but now he'll do it. Just going to fall to the spike instead. Riversand's going to find that final kill on the Santa. Take away one of those rifles.
Is this 3 thrifty wins in a row? What is going on? This is absurd.
Back and forth.
Indeed, and on that round, it was honestly such a funny situation that it's a fully flipped map. Event Horizon is trying to crack into the C site as if they're now on offense, and Team Virtuosity is able to just throw that Viper Orb and chuck the mollies at it as if they're on defense. A complete map reversal, and Team Virtuosity ends up coming out on top.
Absolutely, we really saw the stall potential from the Viper utility there. Able to really lock down that site, keep Event Horizon locked out of C main. Not really able to push in time for the bomb to get defused. But we do see some action here on C still. Team Virtuosity. T-Bite rather looking to get some purchase on the C. Maybe make that rotate a possibility, but not able to do anything quite away. Getting it spammed out through the Cypher Cage. Alarmbot's going to find something on the B, and Jar's going to be there to pick up the kill. Make it a 4v5 situation for Team Virtuosity. And they're going to go, maybe grab that spike, maybe try to go rotate somewhere. But we see that Event Horizon is pushed out through A. Going to back off from the Sky Flash, though. Give Team Virtuosity a little bit of space, but they're going to take advantage of the space that's given to them on C. Scatter. Happens from the shadows. From Team Virtuosity. Going to go to the backside of C. Doesn't get caught out right away. Santa, able to work a little bit of space here. Doesn't quite see anyone. Xander gets found out behind the boxes. T-Bite takes a couple of steps into the molly and falls eventually, but Bullets find Santa in the back of sight as well, and Cooper grabs Tootsie. Not able to do. Oh, just get another kill on the Xander, excuse me. But now there's just 2 players left for Team Virtuosity. Cooper, 72 HP left to work with, isn't able to take any HP off of the rest of Event Horizon as they're getting off site. But Event Horizon is able to answer with a quick rotation, and Lethal falls quickly to that spam through the Viper wall. Not able to loosen the race a little bit there on the rotation, but Cooper has to jump away, has to get out of there with just a little bit of HP left to work with. So that time is going to tick down, and that round is going to go to Event Horizon.
Yeah, that. Ooh, it's good stuff.
Almost gets a second on the Riversand, but gonna have to be satisfied with that 3K.
Indeed, and that's actually a good kill there. Event Horizon does not have a whole lot of money in the bank. Obviously, Team Virtuosity would have preferred to hold on to that gun since they have no money in the bank, but at least you get that kill to try and stem Event Horizon's economy here. Maybe we can get another Thrifty though, who knows? But yeah, that round, just that's the power of the Neon. Honestly, those super fast rotates are able to get on to B before the attacking is even able to get close, which is the strength of attacking on this map, is those quick rotates.
Now we saw this strategy from the other way around earlier in the match, but Riverside is making quick work of it, making it take a little bit of advantage. Quick push up through A main, and just one player left on the Event Horizon side. Oh my goodness. Quick shot there from T-Bite, finding Tootsie and CT, and now giving them a numbers advantage. That spike is going to be down on A main. Event Horizon's going to have to play catch up. Now comes the showstopper, waiting for anyone to peek. Any pixels out of place for Stalker to take advantage of. Let's see, Bullets gonna pop it. It doesn't, just takes a little bit of HP off of Bullets. Who's gonna dive back into sight? Get caught out by Cooper right away. Headshot with the Bulldog. Not able to do anything quite with it. And they're getting caught out with an ability there. They take advantage of it. Jar has some HP to work with, but not a lot of time. T-Bite's gonna pick up that last kill with the Vandal. Or with the Guardian, excuse me. Gonna pick up a Vandal though. And, oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Almost get out of there. But now Team Virtuosity still has money to work with, but not as much as they would have liked.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. I think they're gonna have almost all light armor and Vandals if they want to. Yeah, indeed. Luckily for them, Event Horizon is very broke, so probably not going to be seeing any Outlaws on this side. And in fact, I was mostly joking, but it wasn't a Thrifty again, but another low buy winning that round.
Getting so much back and forth here. Both teams really fighting for that aggression control, being able to control as much space as they can. And we see Bullets just trying to take some space here as well, but Team Virtuosity is not going to afford that to them, not going to give them what they want and play through that aggression. Viper Wall and one way kind of canceling each other out a little bit. But still we see a lot of players very close to each other on both sides of things. The other side of the map, and T-Bite is going to find some neural depth capabilities on one side, but Cooper's going to find Jar through the smoke with a little bit of spam. Cooper's going to find a second on the River's Hand. Paintshell's going to find Bullets, and T-Bite's going to find Xander alone in spawn for that final kill.
Wow, kills all over the board for Team Virtuosity. Super well done. You know they're on Eco, so you just decide to brawl that A main control. You have an advantage with the guns. I think it's smart, and it definitely worked out for them. This is the first round of the half where the team that won the previous round has now won a second round in a row. So really well done by Team Virtuosity, and they can crawl this back. I mean, if they get some momentum going, they absolutely have a chance.
You're absolutely right. They have to win quite a few rounds in a row if they want to do that, though. And Event Horizon playing very aggressively here, trying to keep that from happening. That Viper's pick comes out into A main to try to stop those rotates. And Bullet's going to find a kill onto Santa almost right away to deter Team Virtuosity away. They're going to have to get that spike and rotate out somewhere else. They know if the Viper's pit is there, then it gives them a lot of space and secret to work with. And here comes the Paranoia through door. Bullets is going to find that kill into T-Bite as Lethal will try to work his way into the Viper's pit, but Riversand is not going to let that happen. Now it's just 2 players left for Team Virtuosity, and all 5 for Event Horizon. Do have a From the Shadows to work with, and Team Virtuosity has all that raise util, but no showstopper to try to clear out that Viper's pit. Gonna have to go through rotating door onto A site if they want to get onto A, but might be trying to force that rotate. You see all those Event Horizon players are coming rotating around. They're just trying to find some sort of purchase or some sort of pick. Boombot comes out, try to scout out the Viper's pit, find anyone
Last
through
player
it.
standing.
But Jar's going to quickly answer that Boombot with a kill of his own. Cooper does find killing the Bullets, but it is going to fall to that Viper Molly. It comes very fast out onto the entrance onto B site, and now we're going into match point.
Indeed, and why I just want to point out as well, that is a super cool setup by Event Horizon. The Viper's pit to hold all of A main, and then the KJ setup to hold the walk-through tree so that the Viper knows if anyone is trying to, like if anyone is pushed out tree, and you can pop those KJ mollies to delay them. It really just makes it so difficult to take A. They aggress C, get an extremely lucky kill through the smoke onto that Omen, heard the Omen TP, and just gets the instant one tap. Super, super good for them. And you just play full retake B, which is one of the easier sites to retake. It's an extremely hard setup to break, and a really, really cool Viper's Pit combo with the KJ.
Absolutely right. That is a very aggressive setup, and I think it benefited Event Horizon really well. They were able to play out of that Viper's Pit kind of on both sides, really, and it gave them that advantage to rotate from A to B when they realized that Team Virtuosity was trying to push through onto that site, trying to
Yeah.
take advantage of all the players that were stacked over on B.
Yeah, you're right. I realized I said they played retake B, but really they were able to have the Vipers still throw mollies to prevent them from pushing out B. So really they had, I mean, they had map control across the whole board, which on a map this big is an extremely impressive feat.
Absolutely right. Now it's 12-8 for Event Horizon. Team Virtuosity still has some guns to work with here. They're going to have to buy out to try to see if they can take this round away from Event Horizon, but they're going to have a lot of rounds in a row to win if they want to take this map and keep the game and keep the series going. Bolts is going to push down A main. You see that aggression still coming out from Event Horizon all the way down, but we see on the other side of the map is Team Virtuosity. 4 players down towards C and just 2 of Event Horizons to work into. Excuse me. They're going to try their best to stall out as much as possible. Here comes a KJ Molly, trying to block out this site as much as they can. Xander prepped and ready with that paranoia to go, but Team Virtuosity is going to have to deal with some sky flashes on B site, trying to push through that door if they can, but they're going to hang tight for now. Let's see, pushed over on A main there. It's Coopert trying to take some space to that Viper wall, but things are still very quiet over on C. Still 3 players from Team Virtuosity trying to make their way onto C site, trying to push their way through that KJ turret. Stalker's gonna bounce back site with those blast packs.
Welcome to
And
my
out comes that Viper's Pit into CT. Very aggressive one. Santa's gonna find a pick on the Xander though in the meantime. Now, Event Horizon's gonna have a lot to work with here. They have their Seekers, but they're not gonna push into too much else. But they take out that Viper's Pit pretty easily. Bullets finds that pick onto Lethal. Makes that Viper's Pit go down, make it a lot easier to play. Retake. Tootsie finds a pick onto Cooper, but Stalker is there to answer. Finds another 2. And Event Horizon is going to fall. Now it's 9-12.
Absolutely, that's a great round. The Viper's Pit into CT is so hard to break through, but then Bullets just walking in and getting the kill is absolutely wild, but still able to win the round after that. Just a fantastic cross and sight hold for the post plant. Also the lurk through for T-Bite. Perfectly timed, got another kill on B right as Event Horizon was trying to rotate towards C. Just a fantastic post plan, honestly, pretty much perfectly played.
Very well played situation for them. And even though that Viper's Pit wasn't able to stay up for very long, Lethal felt the bullets in the back of sight, but they were still able to take advantage of the scattered Event Horizon players and able to find those picks out one by one.
This is a nice spot.
Grab the rest of that round, and now we see that maybe some more passive strategies coming out here for Event Horizon. You see how far back they are, and they're kind of rushing to get to site in the last few seconds. Maybe a bit of a tech pause, I think, actually. That might be why things are so slow. My apologies, I didn't notice that. But now we're seeing still some aggression here from Event Horizon. A lot of players stacked up on C, nothing quite on B. We just still have that KJ turret left alone and throwing out that Neon Util and getting away, trying to really delay any aggression from Team Virtuosity here, stall it as much as possible. Now we're seeing that Viper Orb opens up on C main. We've seen this before from Event Horizon at the start of the half. And I think Team Virtuosity realizes what Event Horizon is going to try to do. Out come the Seekers from Team Virtuosity, trying to get some intel towards stairs, and not going to find anything right away. But Lethal is going to catch Tootsie out, get a few body shots on there. Make it into a 4v5 for Team Virtuosity. They're going to take site. They're going to be able to push through all the space. Lethal's going to be able to take Heaven. For a little bit, at least. It's going to be stuck waiting for his teammates. More or less. Oh my goodness, just a Stinger to work with and not too much time to do anything with it. Cooper's going to find a second pick on the River Sand through the Broken Door, and Jar's just going to have that Sheriff to work with. Still a Stinger, though. Cooper finds that third headshot on the Jar, but doesn't have too much HP left to do anything else with. The Stalker's going to pick that up right at the end. Nice little round win there from Team Virtuosity. Event Horizon now finally going to be able to, looks like, afford some rifles.
Absolutely, yeah, and a really just great job by Team Virtuosity sniffing out what Event Horizon is planning to do. They try and fake that A main aggression, which makes you think, okay, they have a Sentinel set up B, or maybe they're Viper or something, but not. There can't be 3 there, and they try and aggress out of that smoke with the flash, but Team Virtuosity sniffed it out. They realized what was going on, ripped the sky out, and took back all of the A main space that Event Horizon hadn't actually taken at all.
Absolutely. Now they're looking to take a little bit more B space. 3 players sacked through B main, but that spike is committed towards C. We're seeing Event Horizon with a very fast rotation over towards B. Trying to take some of that space, but Team Virtuosity going to be pushed through. Skyflash finds one in the back towards Defender spawn, and Stalker is going to go running through towards C to try to catch any players out on there. T-Bite's going to find one, and this is going to find a second, but Jar finds 2. Santa's going to find a 3rd pick onto Tootsie. Now it's a 3v2 for Team Virtuosity, and they still have to get that spike down. Bullets popping the Neon will find Santa. Now it's 2v2 with that Neon roll up. Neural Theft is available, but not going to come out quite yet. Skydog comes through looking for some of that aggression, but Team Virtuosity's all held up back sight. Waiting for some sort of opportunity, waiting for that spike to get tapped, and it is. That Skyflash is going to come out to delay that aggression, and it still is. Viper Molly comes out. Jar's gonna find both players. That Molly is gonna fall. Is gonna fell bullets, and Jar living with just 2 HP. Gonna finish out map number 2. Incredible stuff. Going to Event Horizon.
Absolutely fantastic map. Super well played by both teams. Yeah, I mean the Neon pick is super interesting, and I'm glad we got to see it. Really, like, the aggression there out of Event Horizon was so, like, fast-paced, and the rotates were super interesting. But then also from Team Virtuosity, their retakes were so good. Their post plants were fantastic. Once they were able to sort of, like, get down on a site on offense, Event Horizon had a really hard time cracking them open if it was similar numbers. Once again, super well played by both teams, and yeah, it was just really cool. I think Event Horizon they really had a very good idea of how to play that map. I think they chose it for a reason. You might have noticed on that last round, they sky flashed A main, didn't hit anyone, and three people instantly rotated all the way to C for Event Horizon, and they were just able to crunch that site super fast. Bullets match MVP out here again.
Once again, we see a lot of kills out for Bullets. Just 2 first bloods, but now we see T-Bite 18 and 18 on map number 2. I think a lot of really able to play around some of that Cypher util, really able to take advantage of some of those late lurks towards C and those other extremities and whatnot. Very impressive from both teams. Very close match. I think we saw so much back and forth in that second half. It's really something that was really dramatic. There we go. We're not going to see Sunset today, but we are going to see 2 very close maps from these 2 talented teams.
Absolutely. Event Horizon picking up their 2nd win of the tournament, and Team Virtuosity still looking for that first one. Hopefully they can find it next week.
Absolutely right. All right. Those are once again, those are 2 very exciting maps. We're going to go on a little bit of a break and go into an interview after this, and we will see you in just a few moments.
And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the
Those medical pills are push me over. I kill my fill 3 times a day. The fight alone. You don't gotta fight alone. Don't be so personal. Take me out of
Welcome back, everyone. If you are just joining us, we are here post-match after Event Horizon 2-0'd Team Virtuosity, and we are joined here today by Bullets, Event Horizon's duelist from both maps. Bullets, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Solid win.
Yeah, absolutely. It was super well done, and I wanted to ask you. I've mentioned this on casting a couple times that I've seen a lot of teams play maybe a raise as like you'll have one person play a raise and then you'll have someone else play the other duelist. And I have rarely seen anyone play a neon, so I was just wondering who do you usually try and main? Do you consider yourself just a duelist main across the board? And who wanted to do the neon instead of the raise on Lotus?
I definitely consider myself a general duelist main. I'm not a one trick of any kind. I'm really good with every duelist that's maybe not Phoenix. And the neon pick mostly came from me because when I joined this team, my agent wanted to run a raise, but I saw way more value in the neon. So I gotta thank Tutti because he believed in the neon pick and in my comfort, and he made it work. He basically created a composition around me, and it worked out really well. So I gotta thank him.
That is
Awesome.
super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really glad to hear. Well, you guys are coming off, obviously, a pretty impressive win over Team Virtuosity. You guys picked up a win last week as well. What did you guys want to keep the same that you guys were doing this week that worked so well last week?
Well, to be honest, it's just we were more active in the comms. I think the comms kept us all alive. We were definitely more in the game. I know I was because last week I had a really niche performance, but my team had me. But I had to be there for my team this week, and hopefully we'll all keep bringing the same performance of the upcoming weeks.
That's awesome. Well, it was a very good performance that you had today, of course, with your team backing you up on both maps today. Yeah, that's all that I really have. Ronak, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I have one more. I was just wondering, is there anybody in this league that you're specifically looking out that you want to fight? I know the Event Horizon Game Changers team is also in here. We got the pleasure of casting some of their games, and they look like they're playing super good too. So I was just wondering, you got anybody you're keeping your eye out for?
Definitely Thugs. We have some friendly banter, some friendly beef with them, so it'd be pretty fun to go against them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hopefully I'll get to cast that game. That sounds super fun.
Now, you guys played against Thugs in week 0, I believe, of Titans of Tier 3 as well. So is that where that friendly rivalry started, or is it before that? Is go back a while?
I would say go back a little further, but at the end of the day, it's all just friendly banter. It's gonna be a fun game if we get to play against them, or when we get to play against them. That's gonna be really fun, I think, because we're all gonna be trying. Because I think the last time we played them was for just to test. I think it was just a test match, so we were kind of joking around a little bit. But we'll definitely take them seriously and beat them.
All right. Well, I'm sure they're looking forward to that match as much as you guys are. All right. Thank you so much, Bullets, for the interview. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right.
All right. That's gonna. You too.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right, that's going to be all for us here at Titans of Tier 3. Once again, 2-0 in favor of Event Horizon winning out this series. I'm sure they're happy about that. We just booked Bullets, their duelist, and looks like they're very excited, looking forward to Week 3 as well. Hope everyone has an amazing night. Thank you so much for taking your time to spend with us, and hope we see you in the next game.
Not all.